What's poppin', my friends? I'm Denny, the Flatbroke Adventurer, and on today's episode, we're going to be making a homemade survival fishing kit out of this. If you're interested, stick around, because it's coming up next. Welcome back, my friends. Like I said, we're making a pocket fishing survival tool. I first saw this on a video on YouTube, and the channel's name is Waypoint Survival. That's WAYPOINT Survival. The guy has an awesome channel. He shows all kinds of really cool, useful stuff. And yeah, I just came across it randomly. So, and I thought, that's a neat idea. So we're going to run through it right here. You need a Phillips screwdriver, fishing string, the chalk line. These are random weights and fishing hooks and swivels that will go inside of this, which is a little plastic tube for an X-Acto blade. The X-Acto blade is even still in there. On his video, he suggested you put a nail clipper in there so that you could clip your string and change hooks and stuff like that. Well, I agree, that's a great idea, and you'd have some toenail clippers out for doing other stuff in the field. Me, though, I went online and I found this tiny little buck knife, and it is sharp, and that's going to fit in there, and that will give me actually more room in this little tube to put more fishing stuff. So, I guess I'm giving up the use for a nail clipper, but I'm going with a tiny little buck knife. So that's going to be my twist on the change. Again, the braided fishing line, this is a grenade pouch. And the grenade pouch had a really floppy lid on it. And you can see where I did some stitching. I'll show you what I did right here. So there you go, a little photo montage so you can see, real simple, just put a pleat in it, ran some string through it. It's a upholstery thread, so that's all you need the thread for, that's that. So we're done with that part. Now we're getting to this. So what you need to do is pull this out. I am going to use his little nail clippers though idea right here. You don't need the little metal piece that comes on the end that would normally hook onto the lumber when you're using the chalk line. You don't need that. So you can get rid of that. On the back, there's two screws here, and they're Phillips head screws. So you got to undo those. And pretty simple to do. Like I said, there's only two of them. So hopefully all is well where you are and your family is enjoying the spring that's coming up on us. So there you go. You got that. Take this off. There's a little hatch that slides in a track, and that's where you dump the chalk into here. Save that because we're going to need that later. So I'll put that there, and then you just lift this right out. And it has a little metal tube right here that goes inside the frame, and that's where the string will go through. So now this is pretty quality string. You don't want to use this string to fish with though. It'd be good for other things, but it's a cotton-based string, and if you put that in the water and then put it back inside this little plastic housing, it's going to rot and get weak, and then if you need it, you won't be able to eat the fish anyway. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause and go through this and wind this onto something else so that we can put the fishing string on, and that'll be coming up here in a second. Stick around. All right. I saved all the string. I put it on a piece of PVC because it is quality string. It's a quality product, and it's a nice string. It just wouldn't work good for fishing applications. So I got this string. So what we're going to do now is take this string. What you have to do first is go through the yellow thing on the end of that, and then put it through this little tiny little black tube, and that's what will guide it in and wrap it around the spool. So we're going to tie this off to the inside of the spool and run it through all that, and then we'll be back in a minute. So stick around. You just really don't want to watch me. I'm half blind, so being able to thread this through is going to be a problem. So I'll see you here in a minute. All right, as you can see, the monofilament goes through the little yellow piece, through the little black ring, and then it's tied off to the spindle. You notice on the spindle there's a square part. That square part coincides with that square part right there, and that's how you get your drive when you crank this. So all we got to do is put that little piece inside that blue piece, and then put these two screws back together, and then we'll start winding up the string next. So stick around. The survival fishing kit's almost done. All right, we've got everything back together. I've got to tighten up the screws. I'm going to do that right now. This is a really fun project. When I watched the video, I thought, wow, anybody can do this. So I might try to, not only do it, but also make a video so that someone like you guys who don't know about this other gentleman's channel, once again, Waypoint Survival, go check him out. Really nice guy, really knowledgeable. He has a class in Ohio where he teaches all the way from beginner survival all the way up to primitive bushcraft. So, all right, once you get this all set up, and you have to apply a little bit of pressure, just like when you're wrapping a fishing pole. You want to have a little tension on your line. You don't want it to be all loose. So I'm going to roll it like that. We're going to take in as much speed as I want to line up, but you open the little door where you normally line in the chalk, and then you could watch your line go back and forth on the reel. That way, if it starts building up on one side or the other, you could stop and, pull it back and adjust it how you need to do. So I'm going to wrap this up, and we will be back here in a moment with more of the survival fishing kit build. Thanks for tuning in. All right, we have it all loaded up with line. Okay, so that's where we're at with that. The gentleman who did his video, he had a specific amount of hooks and swivels and weights and all that. I just grabbed a bunch of stuff that I thought would probably fit in there pretty comfortably. Once again, you just tear the packaging open, bust out the little X-Acto knife blades, which I will use at a later date for I'm going to be carving some fishing lures here on the channel. So if that's interesting to you, stick around. That video will be coming up. There's a bunch of blades in here, so we'll pull those out. They look like little scalpels. Put those off to the side. Now we got the fishing stuff. Take all this out, dump it in my hand, and then transfer it to the tube. We got hooks, swivels, weights, everything you need for a hand-tossed fishing line. Tap it down and all the stuff will settle down in there. Looks like I may have overestimated the size of the tube, but once again, we don't have the nail clippers. We have that little tiny buck knife in there, so oh no, that's going to take up some room too. So I'm going to be missing some of my fishing lure or fishing tackle, and but here's the grenade pouch. It all goes together in the grenade pouch. I'm going to muddle together and get this stuff through. What I'm going to do is take one of the bigger weights and tie it up on the end of the string so that we could drop the string inside that hatch, and with this in there too. So stick around. That part's coming up next. I'm sure you don't want to watch me sit and fumble with this stuff. Be back in a minute. All right, welcome back, people. Here we go. We got the line all lined up in there and wrapped around the spool. I've got a bunch in there, a whole lot more than I think I could actually hand cast with. I think I'm probably going to be using this mostly out of my kayak. I don't think I'll be fishing from the bank. I may do a video about it later, but you twist it up to where the little bead fits down inside the little chalk chamber. Wind it up, and close the hatch. And there you go. That's all ready to go. Put that inside your little grenade pouch. This slides in there too. Your little tackle box set up. Just like that. Boom, boom, boom. You clip it up. That'll fit on your backpack or on your pants or however you want to tote it. But you have the ability to feed yourself when you're out in the field as long as there's fish around and you can come up with some sort of bait. I would like to be able to make a better version of this, but this was the first attempt. It went together semi-well. There was a couple of hang-ups with the insides, so I got that squared away. On his video, the little clear plastic tube thing slides inside that hatch. Well, the hatch isn't big enough, or the tube that I bought is too big. So it wouldn't fit in there, but it does fit snugly inside here where it won't fall out no matter even if you're running around. So it's still a very doable project just like this. So I want to thank you guys for tuning in. Not only does your viewership and your friendship truly means a lot to me. Always be a straight shooter. Always wear your shooting glasses when you're shooting. Take care of your friends and family. Look out for each other. Be kind to each other. I'll see you guys on the next video. And as always, God bless.